Blue Castle Ventures is a leading strategy developer in the world's financial markets with trader training courses, digital certificates, real art with digital certificates, options tailored to your life's interests by giving you financial freedom. And with me is the CEO, David Rojas, to explain where the company is and what the latest is. And David, welcome and great to see you again and bring us up to date with Blue Castle Ventures.
Likewise, glad to see you again. Fortunately, despite the headwinds of the market and everything, we are just doing fine. We're focusing on the next stage of the company, and no, everything is looking good so far, fortunately.
Yeah, it was kind of a tough September and October, which is historically the way the markets operate, and we turn things a little bit. How do you see the market these days? I mean, do you see a recession, soft landing? Do you think that we're done with interest rate hikes and maybe we'll rally from here? How do you see things?
Well, it's like last time we talked, I was very worried that only just one sector was pulling the market, and that didn't work. And yes, we had a bad September, but we also had a terrible October. And the problem is that most news and all the speech of everybody is mostly political, is not anymore about the numbers. So personally, I don't buy the whole thing that we can achieve a full soft landing. In some ways, I think we have been through recession already. Because in some ways, you see that the interest rates are high, not only in the States, but everywhere. And set a target of 2% again, it takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. So I think the market needs to reorganize. There will be more corrections, especially in the tech sector. We have seen in earnings that, well, everything that we saw 3 months ago is not anymore. So it's very difficult to see something that is sustainable at the moment. I think there are some other sectors that have to crush. Credit sector, for example, is the last one that has to go before we can see a steady bull market, because a bull market needs to be with different sectors, not just one sector going up and saying, yes, I'm going to pull the whole market. That doesn't work. For example, today we saw interesting moves even in the Russell 2000, and you say, okay, when we are in a recession or we are in a bad moment, why these are moving positively? But I think it's just people rearranging their strategies, and I think this is a time to be very cautious and just take it easy. But definitely we're gonna see some sort of recession. We have to pay attention to the numbers, not to the politicians. Because through media, everything, like we have this scenario. It's not that bad, but we have to do this. So it's always confusing. It's always like, 50-50. So in reality, there is not like a straight answer. There is always like a big possibility of things. It's normal because nobody can predict the future. However, I think we should be more crass and more realistic with numbers, because that's what is actually happening, and not trying to get ourselves ahead of ourselves, thinking that maybe things are going to be solved really quick. And in a real world scenario, okay, maybe 3%, 4% is not the end of the world, but we got used to being a 2% type of, scenario, even 0% during the pandemic. People have to get their hand in the game that is not coming back, and we just need to move forward and see the whole cycle finish. So I will be just more cautious.
Yeah, you make an excellent point about not listening to politicians. So we're getting into a campaign, and there's going to be ton of rhetoric and spin on numbers. And so, yes, you really have to be diligent and dig into the numbers and figure out what they really mean. And we are seeing some signs of the job market slowing down. The jobs report for October was less than expected. They revised down August and September in terms of job growth. There's less hiring for the holidays. I mean, there's some signs there that the job market is starting to slow down. And
But it's been not stable. Like it goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. Like it's been like flat if you see it all around. So until it's steady going down, then you see, okay, now we broke the economy. We can start over.
yeah.
That's the only moment in which we can see a change.
So are these the kind of things that you teach in your courses? Describe your courses. What do you offer? And what is your goal in teaching people with these trading courses that you have?
Well, basically what I teach is what I've been doing most of my life, already 15 years. I trade stocks, and I focus mostly on small caps and like whatever you find in the Russell 2000. And they react more violently to any news or any sector movements and these things. And sometimes you can get advantage of this momentum. But like I teach a set of rules that through time I have paid to learn, like with my own mistakes. So what I do is just to shorten the learning curve and teach people about stocks, other financial vehicles, in which they can find some sort of guidance when they are planning or having a strategy with stocks. Like my profile of trader is high risk, so maybe the course is not for people who are faint of heart. But I have learned that once you have a set of rules, you take emotion out of the equation, and with consistency, and you have your set of rules really you're doing it, not just saying, oh, I'm following this rule. No, you really follow them. Then you can make some profit over time. But everything takes dedication, practice, consistency. And I compare trading just like a Olympic sport. If you do it every day, and if you train it, and if you know when to get in, because you have to avoid over trading. So I teach people methods or the ways that you don't fall for your own ego, because you in this practice the enemy is really yourself. You are the one who, if you are charged with emotion, if you even I tell them don't do trading if you had a fight with your girlfriend, or if you are sick, or these kind of things. These are details that people maybe don't take into account, but they're very important. It's very important to have a very clear state of mind, and once you have rules, you are better prepared than the next guy.
Yeah.
And that gives you some sort of advantage. And then also we dive into swing trading that is more traditional, but mostly my specialty is momentum trading.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. And boy, you're absolutely right about like the discipline. It's very, very hard. So you got to like really teach that discipline so people can understand and see inside themselves their biases, their emotions, their ego, all of those things. So it's really important.
Yeah, you have to read the room. Like you cannot predict or time the market. You just have to try to understand what it's doing. It's a live animal. Like it does whatever it wants. You just have to see what are those little, nuggets, and see, okay, maybe I should do this or do that. And also I teach people, hey, appreciate every single cent that you make. Because people just want to go for the big bucks, get rich overnight. That doesn't happen. Doesn't happen anywhere. If I make some profit and if I can live out of it, is because I've been doing this for 15 years. It's a very different story. You cannot compare chapter 15 of a person with chapter 1 of another person. So I always tell them, never compare yourselves to your peers, because there are people who are going to learn this faster, who their personality is more for this. And if you make even $5, $10 per trade, dude, you didn't have those $10 in the morning, so appreciate them. Like little by little, you're just gonna like focus on just perfecting your process, your strategy, and then just be patient with the whole development. You're gonna end up knowing yourself so much that even some rules of trading you're gonna start applying in the rest of your life. It's
Oh,
really interesting.
yeah, no, that is.
And I make people aware of that. That it's not gonna get you rich overnight. Like 99% of the courses tell you, which is not true. This is more brutal, cold. Hey, this is what happens. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
I'm more realistic, actually. So
Oh yeah.
the whole world really is. So I understand there's some new developments at Blue Castle. Can you bring us up to date?
Yes. So we have seen that all this world of crypto and blockchain and like all of this is fading, especially with what I also predicted with FDA. Like months before that, I was telling you that doesn't look really sound to me. Those guys are gonna run with your money. Well, I told you so. I hate to say it, but so we have tried to distance ourselves of this, and what we're doing now is to offer our services. We're gonna do it more like repackaged in a membership. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have like a club in which the idea is that the members are gonna help us to raise funds, because we in Blue Castle, I told you before that we had different verticals that we want to develop. So right now, one that is moving by itself, it's the business regarding retiring homes and anti-aging technology is one of the health divisions that we want to have for Blue Castle. So the idea is that the members, which is our limited amount of members, is not going to be like for everybody. The ones who get on with our project, they're going to always get these services or products either to close to zero, because we're going to sell it to the public anyway afterwards. So the members, we're going to get royalties out of this. They're going to have all the services. So it's going to be very interesting. Many people have told us, hey, why don't you come to the States, give your service in the States? Because we have done great in Canada, Ecuador, like in the rest of the world. It's just that we were figuring out what was the best way to get into the States, because, well, you have way more regulations over there. So we're coming, guys.
Okay. Well, we look forward to it. And please come back when you're ready to make that announcement, when you have like a launch date and all that. So we'll definitely cover that.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David. Thanks for the update.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me, and have a great day.
Thanks.